Hey, y'all. Happy Tuesday. This is my review for Married to Medicine, Season 12, Episode 2. Now, before we get into the episode, let's talk about this intro, shall we? Now, see, I don't know about that. Like, why did they have to touch it? Why? And I don't know. Like, a lot of people hate it, and I don't hate it, but I don't like it because usually it's doctors first, then wives. You know, like it's supposed to be now paging Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, Dr. Heavenly. Like we're going right to quad second. I don't like that. I don't know. Y'all know, like, for the people that are used to watching my Married to Medicine reviews, like whenever they have the theme song, I always play it. But I don't know now, y'all. Damn, they had to mess it up. And I guess because they don't have Dr. Heavenly to fit in it, they just did their own damn thing. So I don't know, y'all. Rest in peace to me. Doing the little intro every other episode. I don't think I'm gonna do it because I don't really care for it now. I don't want to play it again for y'all because I don't want to get a strike or anything like that. But yeah, Mariah, I don't know. I was thinking the same thing when they played it because you always sung it. Yeah, because it is always the doctors, then the wives. It's no shade. It's just now paging. We're not paging quad. We're paging the doctors first. Jeez. Hello, Keisha Weir. I'm so glad that I made your top 5. Again, y'all, it's the end of the year, and YouTube is letting everyone know who is your top 5 YouTube channels that you go to. So, let me know if I made your top 5. Anywho, make sure you like, subscribe, and make sure you comment just to make sure, my video gets into the algorithm. And yeah, let's get into it. Now, patron Dr. Jackie, quad. Don't even sound right. Mm-mm-mm. Rest in peace. So, yes, we open with our usual montage of the ladies at work or at home. We're with Toya and Eugene. We're reminded of Eugene's, new work arrangement. And Toya's telling him about the party in the last episode because Eugene couldn't attend. She's saying how odd it was that Heavenly wasn't there. Now, speak of the devil, literally. Meanwhile, across town, we are at Heavenly's household. I'm sorry, Dr. Heavenly's household. First words on the show, hey, daddy. Hey, daddy. That is her first words on this show for this season. Like the way she submissively talks to him in an infantile manner, it's so strange to me. Like, she's showing him her campaign strategy, and then we cut to her proudly saying in her confessional that she's running for office. And yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't take it seriously when I heard it the first time. But look, if the current orange clown is in office right now, I feel like anybody has a shot. Anybody. And that's just where we are. Um, oh yes, hello, Andrea Mamad. I love me some Heavenly and Quad. That this is only where we don't see each other. Cause I like Simone and Toya way more. How do you make a top 5? Basically, it's going to be on the top of your YouTube. So, I'm watching myself. Let me see if I can show y'all right quick. So, at the very top, we have right here your YouTube recaps. and it shows. Like, for instance, like it'll show your YouTube recap. I guess I didn't show y'all my top 5, did I? So these are my top 5. Just while we're here. Of course, it is Alexander Rogers, of course. Heavy spoilers because, spoiler alert, I'm a geek. I love like Marvel and everything. So I always go to heavy spoilers for their recaps, their breakdowns of some of my favorite shows like The Boys, uh, anything Marvel television related, any Marvel movie, Black Mirror. Because look, I love my own recaps. Screen Crush, same thing. They do Marvel recaps and stuff like that for comic book geeks and stuff like that. The Brooke Ashley made my top 5. She's number 4 for me. And Pete Peppers, I was watching his reviews on Severance because I just recently got on Severance. I started from season 1 and 2, and I was looking at it religiously. So yeah, that explains my top 5. So yeah, let me know. But yeah, back to the episode. So we're going back and forth between Toya and Heavenly's scenes. Toya is talking about how she too doesn't take Heavenly, running for office seriously for obvious reasons. And look, production gives us a super montage of all of Heavenly's fights. Exactly. Like, I'm supposed to like trust you in office representing my county or whatever, and you acting like this on TV. But again, like I said, who's in office right now doesn't even matter these days. So then back with Heavenly, she's thanking, Daddy Damon for his approval of her running for office. And then she mentioned she realized that it affects her family. And then this segues to her talking about, their son getting arrested. Now, it turns out, this kind of gagged me. She found out on the internet with everybody else. And Damon knew about this and didn't initially tell her. Now, I would love to know what y'all thought about this scene. Because, like, again, the way she speaks to Damon, I think it really sets women back. Oh, because, Daddy, how come you didn't tell me? You know we're not supposed to have any secrets between each other, Daddy. Daddy, how come you didn't tell me, Daddy? Daddy, you know. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. It's like the equivalent of like how slaves would talk to their masters back in the day. I was about to do a little imitation, but I'm not going to do it. I just think that Dr. Headley would have definitely put on the red robe and the white bonnet. Like, if it ever came to that, like, she makes sure she's in like a very non-threatening tone when she addresses him. I feel like I want to call her, how they say, off red, like, of Damon. Like, of Kimes. I mean, but I think it would be of Damon. That would be her name, of Damon. Anyway, I just feel like she needs to let him know or make sure that he's the one that is in charge. And then, side note, I think because y'all know, if you've watched my Married to Medicine review, I've always called out the misogyny amongst the men and the chauvinism. Like, I'm not sure if it's just like this Gen X values, like they're just really old school, except for Eugene. But Damon's chauvinism is escalated by Heavenly's behavior. And I just know for a fact that he applies this in his everyday life in how he treats women that aren't his wife, or, how he treats maybe his employees or colleagues that are women. Like, I know he applies this logic in his everyday life. And I know he's the type that probably think that women shouldn't be in leadership roles. That's just how I feel. But anyway, I thought that was wild that he would keep that information from his wife. Apparently, this happened in 2022, and she found out like what 2 years later. Like, and then in their confessional, like Damon lies and says that I thought I told you after the fact. She was like, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't." Then he doubles down his confessional, saying, "Well, I did what I did. Anyone has an opinion, they can say what they want." And that's all I needed to hear. Like, I know we say that heavenly ain't shit, but I just know, like, just because he's silent, y'all, does not mean, he ain't a piece of shit. Where was I? So yeah, he presents it to her as something that he could take care of. So he didn't feel the need to tell her. Also, it seems Heavenly's son isn't speaking to her right now because she definitely yelled and cussed his ass out when she found out this information. But I'm like, she'll yell and cuss out her son, but would she even take any type of tone that isn't like goo goo gaga to Damon? I don't know. But yeah, she hasn't seen her son in months. Then Heavenly asked Damon, "Why won't he come visit, Daddy? You can't make him visit?" In this Mickey Mouse voice. He says, he can't make him visit and he won't. And he was just like, whenever he's ready, he'll come and visit. And they'll be willing to, greet him open arms when he's ready to come home. Now, I think it's pretty sad, but I also am just keep thinking about the fact that he just brushed off that he kept this from her. Because, like she said, like, if you don't disclose this, what else are you not telling her? So, yeah. Her voice was killing me. Exactly. "You ain't tell me nothing while I was downtown, Daddy." Dr. Damon was very dismissive towards Dr. Heavenly. Look, Heavenly acting like this is a choice. A choice. And I feel like no one has anyone ever brought that to her attention? I'm pretty sure. But in 2025, it just stands out even more. Probably hiding the whole family. Allegedly. Like, he kept that secret a whole 2 years. Y'all, 2 years? Anyway, so the next scene we're with Contessa and Scott looking over their property that they just bought for their practice. Of course, things are not going according to schedule, as they never do when you're dealing with contractors. They're crunching numbers on camera. And I was told, so let me know in the chat, y'all. I was told that them taking out their 401k to purchase this was a really stupid idea. I would love to know what y'all think. Business people in the chat, accountants in the chat, money people who know how to finance, let me know. I just hope the property doesn't turn into a money pit for them, because it looked like they're on a time constraint to have everything done. And they said they're still working out of different practices because they don't have a home base right now. And they're also thinking of renting space to Eugene and Toya. But look, their person, I think the person that's decorating, the interior designer, she said 2 months at least. So we shall see. Do we know if it's finished now? That is the question. It sounded crazy as hell, but I'm no financial expert. So next scene, we're with Simone and Toya visiting Brandy's practice. We get more background on Brandy's profession, as well as her family life. She has 4 kids. Wow. Also, fun fact, she also worked with Dr. Damon Daddy before. So they're discussing the party, and I'm glad that Brandy's thyroid was not made into a plot line. Like she's talking more about it outside of the show, but I'm glad that she just let that go because she definitely could have made that a plot line. I mean, Buffy is still like has an axe to grind with Dr. Jackie to this day. So later, Toya unfortunately gets a call from her son letting her know that her dog died. The housekeeper went inside for a bit, and the dog turns out drowned in the pool. This was a really sad scene, and especially hearing Toya say that she's had the dog for 18 years. Like, I would probably be sobbing for real. Like, to have, like, that's a family member. Like, you had this dog before you had kids. So, yeah, Toya does lighten the mood by saying that, they asked her, what can they do for you right now? She's just like, just give me some tequila. And they have like a little laugh at it. But look, I know some dog owners who have been beside themselves. You're like, for the New York watchers from Roni, did y'all remember how, what's her name? Tinsley? Like how she just broke down in front of Ramona. Like it was wild. But yeah, I'm glad she took it well because I would have excused Toya from having a breakdown on camera. But yeah, next scene we see they fast forward to see Toya like immediately having an extravagant dog funeral, only that she would put on. And it was at a church. All the ladies are invited, some bringing their dogs. We see Heavenly actually attended to Toya's surprise. We cut to her confessional and she says, she knows Toya, had a lot to say at Mimi's party, but she's going to give her some grace at this doggy funeral. And we know it's coming. I'm shocked. I'm shocked she didn't approach her at the dog's funeral. And then probably they would have gotten into it. I would have expected her to say, fuck your damn dog, bitch. I hope he in hell. I'm just so surprised she didn't cause a stir at the doggy funeral. So the homegoing goes off without a hitch, and that's the scene. So then next we're with Toya and Contessa in the car, and they're talking about the space that Eugenia Toya is renting from Contessa and her husband. And she lies to her and says, oh yeah, it'll be done in about 2 weeks. And production makes sure to play the footage of her interior designer saying it's going to be at least 2 months. So we find out that they are both actually on their way to Dr. Jackie's event where they were told to just dress sexy. They don't know what they're doing yet. So we see Simone arrive first, and it's actually a sexy dancing class. I'm with Simone. I probably would have preferred, to go to a bar and have a cocktail or something. Speaking of which, Contessa brought alcohol as well as solo cups for the ladies because she just knew Jackie was holding this event and there wasn't going to be any liquor. Jackie is notorious for having dry events. Quad arrives literally with her ass out. I mean, it wouldn't be Quad if she didn't want all eyes to be on her. So I was not surprised. And Heavenly arrives, and she actually looks shockingly good. Let's see. Heavenly's Mickey Mouse voice was killing me. Same. I'm Gen X, and I wish my husband would treat me I'm trying to read it in the tone you wrote it. And I wish my husband would treat me dismissive like Damon does. Look, Dr. Heavenly is only encouraging that behavior. I bet he is a very insecure man when it comes to women. And he says a lot of wild things on this show. A lot. That will come back and bite Contessa in the butt. I agree. The whole house would have been flipped, not telling me about my child. Crazy. So they're all being taught by the the instructor right now. These ladies are doing the best they can with what they got. Contessa does a whole split. And it looks like, she's going to regret doing that the next day. Like, I'm pretty sure she's going to put some icy hot between those thighs. And Dr. Jackie, she actually looked like she was doing the Charleston at one point. I was like, my God. So meanwhile, oh, Lord, the men are all getting together for a scene. Now, of course, Cecil is the one facilitating this. He usually is. Can I just say, I normally skip over the husband scene and the men because most of the time it's cringed, it's forced, and it's misogynist. So back with the other ladies, they're all sitting down and Dr. Jackie wants to do an exercise where she presents a statement and asks people whether they agree with it or not, with the intention of starting shit. Let's just keep it real. Let's just be honest. She wants to start some shit. Jackie presents the next statement to Simone saying, even if she got an invite from Quad in advance, she still wouldn't have went anyway. Simone says that's definitely not true. Then says, inviting me the day of is last minute, and it lets me know that you didn't want me to come in the first place. I agree with that. So let me see. Oh, we're skipping the men talking because I think they went back to them. I don't really give a damn. So then Quad responds to Simone saying she was making light of the shade that was thrown her way. Then she decided to, invite her. Toya calls bullshit and says that's shade too because you knew she wasn't going to be able to come. And Quad, she cops to it and says, well, she shaded me. So now Simone, there is no 0 to 100. We don't see well, not 0 to 100. She goes 0 to 100, but we don't see a rise. We just see Simone like, you go and drag me on social media? And they're sitting right next to each other. I'm not sure why Simone has to yell, because she's right there, Simone. You go and drag me on social media? I'm going to drag you too. Quad just says, don't you point your finger in my face. Don't point your finger. So they're going back and forth. Again, they're all rah-rah with each other, especially Simone. And here they are arguing about the same thing. Just here we go, going through the same thing. The ladies can't even take it seriously at this point. Especially when they both start crying. Because, Quad starts to cry first. Then Simone, she's not to be outdone by Quad. She starts crying too. At some point, the ladies, they try to get in between them, they're going to fight, but they don't. They start crying, holding each other's hand. I would like to say this is Jackie's fault because Jackie knew what she was doing. She definitely did. So now they decide to have a Hallmark moment. And Quad is apologizing like she is on a soap opera, followed by Simone. She then, gives more tears, and they give each other a hug and decide to move on for the 5th or 6th time. It is what it is. I just really hope they don't start beefing again after this. So then we're back with the men. And Curtis is hinting at Eugene, not saying anything about Toya, saying that he has touched everybody, according to Dr. Jackie. Eugene is standing by his wife and says, it wasn't like the comment was untrue. Now, I will say, I'm going to be fair, because I like Eugene. But on one hand, he has a point. The cameras don't lie. He pulled Toya into his lap. And Eugene definitely could have made a big deal about that, but he didn't. We also see his hand is on Dr. Heavenly's waist. So yeah, it is what it is. But Also, Eugene has been on the other side of Heavenly's daggers as well as Quad's daggers. And he didn't like it. And I'm pretty sure he would want their men to back him up on that, like say, hey, chill out on him, you know? So maybe he could have a little bit more empathy. What side are y'all on? What do y'all think? So then they talk about Heavenly going into politics, and Damon says he has his wife's back. Now, cut to the other ladies, and Heavenly makes it known. She knows that she was talked about at Mimi's party because the event was about to end, but Heavenly was just like, let me just say this. So then she lets them all know, yes, she's running for state representative and tells Toya specifically that if she has any questions, you can let me know, Toya. So now I'm like, time out right quick before we get back into the scene. Somebody definitely went back and told Heavenly. If I was Toya, I would want to know. Like, just, you know, who went back and told him? Because I feel like Toya was going to bring it up anyway. But there's only two suspects, and that would be Quad and Jackie. I think it was Jackie. Because like that's the one you gotta watch out for, Jackie. She wanna pretend like she's like just so above the drama when she be throwing the rock, the boulder, and hiding her hand. I think it was Jackie more so than Quad. But I think recently Heavenly was on Carlos King channel, and she did say that Quad told her that Toya said some other stuff about her son that didn't make it on the show. So yeah, very interesting. I'm pretty sure Heavenly is gonna, you know, talk a lot because you know she has a big mouth. Give me 1 second. I don't be seeing how my fellow YouTube colleagues can be on here for like 2 hours, maybe 3. Child, I would have passed out on camera. Anyway, so Toya, she keeps it a buck and says she was shocked because, like, you don't even know how to maintain your relationships, your friendships. So how do I even trust you being state's I'm about to say senator, state representative or whatever? And I agree with Toya. And then production yet again shows us even more clips of Heavenly in arguments and fights. So now Heavenly tries to patronize Toya and asks, well, do you know what a state representative does? Toya fires right back and says, well, honestly, I absolutely thought it was a joke. So then Heavenly asks her, well, do you know? Like, do you know what they do? Then Toya says, I don't give a fuck what they do. Like, Toya again is meeting Heavenly where she at immediately. Like, that is the difference between like a sweet tea going at Toya. I mean, a sweet tea going at Heavenly and a Toya going at Heavenly. Like she meets her where she is. Because Heavenly, I think she likes to intimidate some of the ladies. And they just don't want to go there with her, but Toya will go there with her. Mariah used to try to go there with her too. But yeah, she says, I don't give a fuck because I know the state representative wouldn't be you. To her face. I was like, ooh, everybody is taken aback by this. So now the back and forth starts. They try to get into each other's faces, and you know they have to be separated by the women. Toya says she knows what a state representative is, and it'll never be you. Never. So then Heavenly tells Toya to keep her kids out her fucking mouth. Toya says, "Oh, I'm glad you brought it up because I was just going to ask how you were doing, bitch." Like they are going at it. She says she didn't bring it up actually, and says, "In any case, how do we leave your kids out of our mouths when you've been talking about our families for years?" online. Y'all know that, she does this. Cut to Toya's confessional. She points out how Heavenly has come for her family, other people's, family or whatever. And now Heavenly can see what it feels like. And the thing is, I feel like, okay, yes, technically it's her kid, but that kid is 25, 26. So it's a little different. And Dr. Heavenly's response, I feel like, is she talks about stuff that is brought up on the show. But I'm like, these women should be bringing up their personal lives on the show because that's what they're paid for. Dr. Heavenly, she like intentionally doesn't talk about her marriage life, her like what's going on in her private life. So yeah, I'm actually glad that she was demoted to a friend if she doesn't want to disclose information like that. Toya went in on her as she should. Exactly. I am team Toya with this. I am sorry. So they're still yelling at each other while the ladies are trying to restrain them. So yeah, after Heavenly says that she only talks about stuff they bring up publicly, she starts to threaten Toya, saying she knows a lot about her family that she's never said publicly. Cut to Heavenly's confessional, she's saying very like, I have damning information on Toya. I'm paraphrasing. And she's like, I can easily drop secrets she not sharing, like just bombs, like doozies. Like, knowing Heavenly, you might as well do it. You might as well do it. Because y'all know how low Heavenly be going. So it is what it is. So the event ends with Toya and Heavenly being separated and just talking shit about the other. And that is where the episode ends. Whose side are y'all on? Like I said, I'm on Toya's side. Like, now Heavenly knows what it feels like to have this sensitive information out that she didn't even know. She didn't even know. She found out with everybody else 2 years later. Crazy. And also I'm just curious, like when they break them up or the ladies try to get in between them, because they did it for Quad and Simone as well. Like, do they really think that the ladies are gonna swing on each other or they're gonna like start fighting? And I actually thought, like, well, season 1, like we thought that, Mariah and Toya wasn't gonna lay hands on each other, and look what happened. So yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they will like try to swing on each other if they could. Again, I thought Toya was the MVP of this episode. If y'all noticed, Toya had the most screen time. Crazy. Like, I think she was in at least like, I want to say half the running time of the episode. Like, she was in maybe 25 minutes of footage. And they're only giving us like a little bit, like 43 minutes. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying the season. Well, enjoying the season. The first 2 episodes of the season. I hopefully they show promise. I give it an, let's see. I give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. What's up with Toya's wine and the mobile IV drip that they had? Right. What did happen to that? Does she still have her wine business? Team Toya, I wanted to be on Heavenly's side for anything. Or you're saying you won't be on Heavenly's side for anything. Let's see. I had a friend lose her dog of 13 years. It was devastating. Exactly. Like losing your dog of 18 years and it wasn't even a natural death. It died from being like they had more life in them, but it ended because they died, they drowned. That's I'm just surprised her reaction on camera. Let's see. All right. Well, I guess if you have anything more to say, y'all, please let me know in the comment section, especially for the people that's coming in late. So yeah, y'all. What's gonna be my next video? Salt Lake City, and then Beverly Hills, and hopefully Apopros at the end of the week. I'm probably gonna do another Married to Medicine throwback rewind on my Patreon. And what else can I promote? Oh, bookable on Cameo. It's down in the description below if you want a personal video message with me. So yeah, with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next video.